It's awesome to be here, and certainly there's a lot happening right now, and it's fascinating. And the difference that Biden and how the Biden administration is perceived is making in this election. When you look at Virginia, Biden's approval is actually 2 points more negative than it is nationwide.
Interesting.
It's absolutely a significant impact. And our newest polls have Virginia raced to a dead heat with Glenn Youngkin having a 0.9 lead over Terry McAuliffe right now.
How much do you think, Robert, that the Biden and a Washington that is solely controlled by left-wing Democrats, totally in disarray, how much do you think that's having an impact on the race in Virginia?
It's having a huge impact, but it's not just the Biden administration. It's the environment that's being created, kind of a permissiveness for the left to do everything, no matter how far on the fringe it is. The pushback is everything from cancel culture. They're taking down statues of Lewis and Clark in Virginia. They're watching them remove statues of Thomas Jefferson in New York. They're seeing CRT being taught in the schools. And this is not just about Biden directly. This is about the environment that's being created, a permissiveness on the left. They're governing as if they received a major governing majority, not as if he was elected as a moderate to oversee a divided government.
Kind of take us into the crosstabs, Robert, kind of as they say. What else are you seeing in places, for instance, like the D.C. suburbs that could determine the outcome of the race in Virginia? And just to throw you a little bit of a curveball, do we think that the suburban voter is in a place like New Jersey, which also has a governor's race, also could be responding to some of the same inertia?
Well, we haven't seen a lot of New Jersey school boards on TV. School board meetings being lampooned on Saturday Night Live and being the subject of domestic terrorism accusations from the Justice Department. But I will say that what's happening in the schools, Terry McAuliffe's reaction to that, and the environment which led them to be discussing and teaching things that parents find so abhorrent, added to the fact that the parents know about it because the kids were home for so long and they got to witness what they were being taught. That's what has made Northern Virginia competitive. Glenn Youngkin doesn't have to win Northern Virginia. He just has to not get wiped out in Northern Virginia.
Barack Obama, the Clintons, other Democratic Party stalwarts are coming into campaign for McAuliffe. Seems to mean that they feel like he's on the ropes, that your numbers are correct. He may even be a little bit down. Does that move the needle in this environment? You talked about the change in the environment. Do you think that helps him?
Well, I think it's what's really interesting is they spent all of 2020, a brilliant strategy on the Democrats' part. You got to give them their credit where it's due. Stacey Abrams is a capable leader when it comes to mobilizing voters. We see it in Georgia. We know very well she is. But these guys have built a system that is based on early vote, that is based on absentee vote, and sending in a bunch of people from the Democratic Party to come in and motivate people to turn out and vote in a general election on election day after they just told them to be so scared of COVID not to leave their house. I think that's going to present a challenge for them.
Yeah, Robert, I want to pick up on that because you bring up the pandemic and kind of how the last year was an outlier in so many ways. I want to talk to you about a new Gallup poll that came out this week showing that only 19% of Americans want higher taxes and more government services, while now a majority are now saying that the government is doing too much. Is this a sign to you that for most Americans, they have moved on from the pandemic, that we're sort of, the electorate is sort of normalizing itself because they don't see this as being an election in an emergency type situation anymore?
Absolutely. One of the things we put out early last year, I think it was March, we asked people, when will the pandemic be over? When do you think it's going to be over? And people said, the majority, when everyone has had a chance to take the vaccine and has chosen to take it or not, that's when they will personally consider it over. So you look around, you look at the football stadiums, you look at the baseball stadiums, get in the car, drive down the interstate, go to Home Depot on a Saturday morning. Nobody is sitting around home petrified about the pandemic anymore.
Right.
So what we're seeing is that the government continuing to push for something that doesn't seem to be in many people's minds real anymore, as they've had the vaccine and chosen to take the risk, is not impacting them. And so a lot of people who used to like big government 2 years ago got a taste of what big government's really like, especially young people, and they're not so big on big government anymore.
All right. And, Fauci says he's not sure if we can get together for Christmas. I don't know. Has he been watching college football? I don't know. Anyway, that's another thing. Robert Cahaly.
I'm sure he's horrified.
Hi, Emma Reckenberg here. If you like this video, there's a whole lot more to see on Newsmax TV. You can watch for free right here on our YouTube live stream and be the first one here each time our experts break down real news. Just hit that subscribe button, ring the bell icon, and stay with us on America's fastest growing cable news channel, Newsmax TV.